We had a conversation.
You had phones in them days. What year was this? What year was this? Was there phones in them days?
Well, there were phones, but there was no.
They're plugged into a wall.
He called me into his office and explained his decision, and I totally respect.
What was this? What was his explanation?
I was going out to contract, and if I wasn't prepared to sign a contract to extend, he would then have to think longer term, and he brought Shea Given in, which, I understand he's doing what's best for the football club. I didn't agree with the decision, but he's doing what's best for the football club, and I respect that. I respect his honesty. I respect the fact that he has that conversation with me face to face, and doesn't try to hide anything. He could have just dropped me. He could have just left me out on the Saturday. He didn't need to explain it to me.
There have been a few managers
he didn't need to, and that's what I respect. And I will always love and respect Kenny Dalglish for that. Now, what those players' relationships were with Ange Postecoglou, again, they will know better as to how any decisions were relayed to them or those conversations that were had. So you understand that a player can respect a manager, can like a manager, and still, even though that manager isn't getting the best out of the team.
Right, and I've sat in front of managers, and within 5 seconds they're giving you absolute waffle.
Absolutely.
Right. You can see it you can hear it and you can feel it and you can see it. It's waffle.
I don't think that's unique to football. I think that's in any business. You can kind of tell right from the off where you stand. Mario?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. That's why I was also laughing with the guy saying. You know, like as a footballer, you just want someone to talk to you straight. Because straight has the longevity in any footballer's brain. You know, you walk up, the coach tells you, listen, you're not going to be my guy. Okay, cool. Then at least I know. But if he's going to tell, no, you're my guy, and next thing you see, you don't play 1 game, 2 game, 3 game, that's not cool. But when it goes back to the situation, you understand, I think he was in a difficulty. We saw it the whole season he was going through, you understand, and we were just waiting for what the decision was going to be. He changed his way of playing. The whole year we've been waiting, and he waited till the final to change it. He did change it in the final. They won it, and it clearly, what he had said prior to that, remember when he mentioned and said, like, I win in the second season? He clearly did. And then the players, of course, they're happy that they won some. But then Thomas Frank is going to come in. One of the key things is Frank, because I met him a couple of times, and I spoke to him a couple of times, the way he thinks about the game and the way he builds the game and the way his vision is behind it. One of the key things is he's going to come to a club now, and he's leaving a club that is really set in the way he wants it to be. Because I think Brentford really is an extraordinary team in the sense of like how they build it, how they generate everything to make you succeed as a manager. Because you don't have to win every game. That's all one. You know, at Spurs they want Champions League. They want to play Champions League every year, even if they don't make it. Now he's leaving that, the kind of like keeping them in the Premier League feeling. Now you need to make sure you get us, making sure that we compete in the Champions League. So he's going to step up. Does he have the character? Yeah. Has the willpower? Yeah, he will have that. But one of the key things you have to remember, not everything at Spurs is going to be already ready for him to be waiting for him. He has to build a lot, and it's going to take him a lot of time to do that.
What do you want?
No, I was just thinking when we were talking waffle there, I remember playing for a manager, I won't name him, and he was going to sign a player from Sunderland who was my best mate at the time. And I said to the manager, I didn't get on with him. Shaka played for him, so people like that can try and work it out.
Oh, Alan Pardew?
Yes.
There we go.
Who we didn't get on. So I said, I knew...
Basically, the answer to any question is Alan Pardew.
So my best mate, John Austin, was coming down from Sunderland to West Ham. So I didn't get on with Pards. In fact, I've got to say, I'll put it on record, a brilliant trainer.
Right.
Like some of the best sessions I've ever had. Just as a one-on-one, we just didn't get on.
Yep.
Anyway, so I went to see Pards and I said, listen, John's coming down to Stansted today. I said, I'll pick him up, I'll bring him to your house. You two can chat what you want to chat. I'll go for a coffee. Phone me when you're done. I'll take him back to Stansted Airport. So I picked John up. I took him to Alan's house. I went for a cup of coffee. They had the meeting for about 45 minutes, an hour. Picked John up to take him back to the airport. And I went, what was the meeting like? He went, you're very good. Like, he was a bit weird, though. And I went, why? And he went, well, I said to him, when am I going to play? And he went, centre midfield. You're going to take Don's position?
Yay!
Oh my God!
Is that what happened?
That is exactly. No, John didn't sign.
Wow.
John never signed for him.
Wow, there we go. That's brilliant, Don.
Like he didn't think it was going to get back.
Maybe he did.
No, of course he did.
Saved him the hassle. Meanwhile, speaking of signings, Manchester City looking, of course, to build on what was a terrible season last year. Looking at reports, obviously we still got some that may come in, but Aït-Nouri is a done deal, Gab?
It looks that way. Certainly, he's coming in for that left-sided defensive position. But he's not. Obviously, those who've seen him at Wolves, he's not just your up and down left back who runs in straight lines. He's a very technically gifted player. I think this means the end of Josko Gvardiol at left back, and they'll put him in the middle where he can do lead the defense from the center back role alongside Ruben Dias. The other signings, as you mentioned there, with Tijani Reinders, we knew that was happening. I think what you're getting is a lot of energy. There have been some disciplinary issues with Aït-Nouri in the back. You assume that's going. We won't have that with Pep. Pep doesn't quite put up with that. But he's a very solid signing. Reinders, I had a monster season for Milan. Played both as an 8 and as a 10. He's a high energy guy. He's always positive. He always has like a smile on his face. Always puts in the effort. Teammates absolutely love him, and I think he's developed into a real leader. Maybe some might say a late bloomer, but what a midfielder he is.
You're saying both are panic buys?
No, I don't get this joined up thinking from Pep signing these players, because where's Nico Gonzalez going to play if they sign Reinders? If they sign Cherki, where's Rodri going to play? Where's Kovacic going to play? They've got so many midfield. Marmoush is another one who's at number 10. Where are all these guys going to play? Ryan Aït-Nouri, I watched him about 5 years ago when he was at Wolves, 4 or 5 years ago, and I thought, one of the best attacking fullbacks I think I've seen for a long, long time. Defensively, over the last 18 months, all over the place.
Oh, okay.
So that's at Wolves. Maybe he's better players in front of him, but his defensive skills are not great. So if you look at these signings, when you watch them play, you think, well, they look good, Aït-Nouri, attacking player, but is that what City want? Do they not want a proper left-sided defender who can defend? Because when you watch Man City, if you close your eyes, you see a goal going against them. It's transition that hurts them. But he's a very much attacking player. He's played as a false 9 for Wolves in a game or two. I interviewed their sporting director, Matt Hobbs, who's now, I think, gone. And he said, unbelievably going forward, we've got to try and rein him in because he's so offensively minded. He doesn't want to defend, or sometimes he can't. So I look at these players and think, where's Cherki going to play? Where's Reinders going to play, on top of the guys that I mentioned? And obviously, Aït-Nouri will start, but it puts a lot of doubt on Kovacic. As I said, Rodri, Nico Gonzalez, Marmoush. Where are all these guys going to fit in? In a squad that Pep said, by the way, I want a small squad.
Go on, Mario.
Yeah, but Don, in the middle, but during the season also in the middle, one of the key things that he really struggled with was the energy in the middle of the park, because his teams got beaten, and a lot of big challenges. So I think that he also, the one of Reinders, maybe because also I'm a Dutch boy, was one of the advantages of the situation Milan is in. You understand, of the selling had to happen, and they pounced on the situation of getting a good deal out of that situation. But away from that, he's also a great footballer. Don't get me wrong; he had a great season, and also for the national team. But I think those are one of the key things, and I think he has to. He has one more year left, Guardiola, and we know what all managers want. When they come in the final year, they want to make sure they leave with a head up. So they're going to try to at least create back with what they had achieved. And I think that is what he's really focused on. Is he doing it in the right way? Like what you said, Don, on the left-hand side, picking him, because he doesn't have the left-hand side. You saw that he kept on changing everybody in it. So you have to pick a player that wants to. And also, if we look at, he needs a player that can handle having the ball. Because that's why he's going for him. No defensively, but he goes more for him. I want to make sure that my team can compete when we have the ball. That is always, because the way he plays, the way his culture, where he comes from, the Johan Cruyff situation is like, no, we first focus on having the ball. We don't focus on not having it. And I think that's why he went for that player.
A lot more talk on Manchester City, of course, to come throughout the summer. Gab, we'll let you. Gab, what are you doing? You going on holiday this summer? What's the plan?
I'm coming to see you, Dan.
Marvelous.
I'm coming over for the Club World Cup.
Wow.
I'll be catching a bunch of group games and and hopefully visiting you guys up in Bristol.
Oh, it'd be great to see you. Don's calling those games as
I
well,
am.
aren't you, Don?
Looking forward to it.
It's all go. Shaq will be here, though, won't you, Shaq?
Will I?
No, you're going to Colombia.
I am.
Oh, my goodness, everyone's off. Transfer Talk is always available over on our website. Be sure to go to espnfc.com.